Next on Worcester News Tonight, the demolition of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church, an emotional scene for former parishioners. Plus, remembering the lives lost in the September 11th terrorist attacks, with ceremonies and moments of silence across central Massachusetts. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. They knew this day was coming, but it was still very difficult for many to see. Parishioners watched as demolition crews began taking down the former Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church in Worcester. Our Cam Jandro joins us now in Worcester for what seemed like an emotional goodbye. Cam?
Anna, it was a 3-year battle for the Mount Carmel Preservation Society. The orange demolition paint had been on the building for about a year and a half. If you have a look behind me, you can see the front of the building is virtually gone. Crews were on scene for several hours starting the demolition process. We spoke to a few people who used to frequent this church, and they say today was very difficult.
Doesn't have to be. It never had to be.
Slated for demolition for months, Wednesday, the walls of the former Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church finally fell. The site was difficult for members of the Mount Carmel Preservation Society to witness.
And we never thought we'd see this day. Because there's never been a real reason for it to be demolished like this. It could have been saved. That's the tragedy.
Many stood in the middle of Mulberry Street as the church was torn apart. Former parishioner Anna Gentili says the church was a major part of her life.
I'm here, but I don't think I'm here. It's unbelievable. And when you go home, you look at an empty TV. You don't even know what you're watching. You blank.
The former church was closed in 2016 due to structural and safety concerns. The Preservation Society filed lawsuits, appealed to the Vatican, but none of the efforts were able to save Mount Carmel.
This was our parish home, and it meant a lot to us. It was our anchor, and to see it being ripped apart is not easy.
Why would they want to destroy a church or a whole body or give it away for money? Money comes and it goes. What is the city going to show for it?
Now, the Preservation Society says they're still trying to figure out a way to commemorate the church as well as the city's Italian-American heritage. Deconstruction of the church is expected to take a few days. In Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
"18 years ago today, the nation changed forever. People remember where they were during the September 11th terrorist attacks, including many first responders. Hundreds of their brothers and sisters made the ultimate sacrifice. Today, fire departments across central Massachusetts held ceremonies to pay their respects. Our Chandler Walsh has more.
Fire departments across central Massachusetts have a moment of silence in remembrance of 9/11. In Worcester, firefighters honor the victims, including 343 of their brothers in red.
I went to many of the funerals out there. It's heartbreaking and it was devastating.
It's been 18 years since the terrorist attacks. People on departments here have vivid memories.
When the towers fell, I knew there was firefighters inside, and I still get emotional to this day. Thinking about that exact moment.
I remember going to work in the evening in Worcester, and it was very somber, and the day shift guys had affixed flags to all of the ambulances, and it was very sad. But I remember everything about the shift and the people I saw that night.
2 Westboro residents were killed when their flight was hijacked and flown into the Twin Towers. Westboro Fire held a ceremony by their 9/11 memorial Wednesday morning. The memorial includes a steel beam from the World Trade Center. Captain Dan Hare says people gather at the memorial often to pay respects.
We'll come out at night for activities or go on calls, and you'll see people just milling around, checking it out. There's been a little bit more activity lately, but even throughout the year, you'll see people coming through here.
Though it's been years, Worcester Chief Michael Lavoie hopes people remember to honor first responders who went to work and made the ultimate sacrifice.
First responders put themselves in harm's way no matter what the situation. no matter how bad it is, we're there to save lives. Unfortunately, that took a bad turn.
Flags are flown at half-staff today. The Worcester Fire Department says their thoughts are with the fallen and those who still suffer from the attacks. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A ceremony at the State House honored victims of the 9/11 attack. The names of the 206 victims with ties to Massachusetts were read aloud. And this afternoon, family members laid a wreath at the public garden. Abby Niscoda has those details.
From somber ceremonies to quiet reflections, there are countless ways to remember all that was lost 18 years ago. But Cindy McGinty, who lost her husband Mike in the North Tower, would rather be here.
This is what Mike would want us to be doing, not wallowing.
She and her son joined hundreds of volunteers on the Greenway in Boston to make care packages for those who've served and are still serving. For them, giving helps with the healing.
That's how we take back the day, by doing good things for each other.
And seeing volunteers who were born after September 11th means everything to those who lived through it. Many here helping are in high school.
It's so important not to forget because we have to keep those people in our memories.
Making 9/11 education mandatory, a big push for Christy Coombs, whose husband Jeff was on Flight 11.
We want this taught earlier in the U.S. history program. It's necessary that the kids learn this is their history, but it's our lifetime.
Coombs also spent the day giving back, stopping by a blood drive at Fenway Park along with the governor.
9/11 will be with us forever.
18 years later, McGinty will never forget, but she hopes everyone also remembers the goodness that came after.
In the minutes afterwards, how America came together. It wasn't red, it wasn't blue, it was the United States of America.
There are also several ceremonies happening this evening, including a candlelight procession in the Seaport at the Massachusetts Fallen Heroes Memorial. In the Boston Public Garden, I'm Abby Niscoda, Worcester News Tonight.
A new ranking of the best public transportation systems puts the MBTA high on the list. Wallet Hub ranks the T second overall out of 100 systems in the U.S. Researchers looked at a variety of factors, including convenience, safety, and reliability. Riders we caught up with this afternoon had mixed reactions.
They're really good. They're really nice. All the guys are helpful. Everything's really straightforward, and they always suggest that you use the app, so it'll help save you and them time.
Makes me want to laugh a little bit. Second best in the country? Well, commuter rail or like commuter rail maybe. The T, like red line, green line, orange line, hell no.
Seattle's public transportation beat out Boston for the #1 spot. Worcester police are asking for the public's help identifying a body found near Granite Street Tuesday. Police say the body appears to be a middle-aged white male with short, thinning brown hair. Police are treating the death as suspicious. They were called to the scene Tuesday morning after firefighters found a body while they were responding to a call. An autopsy was scheduled for today. Anyone with information is asked to contact Worcester Police. Police identified the victim of a weekend shooting as 37-year-old Juan Mendez. Two men now charged with his murder faced a judge in Worcester District Court today. Worcester police say they arrested Juan Gutierrez and Kenneth Vasquez in connection to last weekend's fatal shooting on Country Club Boulevard. They were arrested Tuesday, one in the area of Endicott Street and the other near Lake Avenue. Both are being held without bail. She's devoted most of her life to service. A Worcester woman is back from her most recent assignment for the Peace Corps and is sharing her experience with young girls in the city. Judith Fleming joined the Peace Corps more than 5 decades ago. She says during her most recent trip to Uganda, she worked on a number of projects with children, including helping young women develop a source of income by buying chickens and selling eggs. Girls Inc. raised money to help support Fleming's projects while she was in Africa. Wednesday, she shared a special message with the group.
I also want girls to understand that there's a universal truth. No matter where you are as a young girl, you experience so many of the same issues and concerns and problems. And I think that it makes the world very flat when people understand the cultural differences, but also how much alike we all are. I think what she's referring to.
Fleming says her visit was less about the Peace Corps and more about sharing the cultural bridges people need to build.